Average profits over the past 3 years up to £2,500 per month. He added, "You have not been forgotten, you will not be left behind, we will all stand together." Well, the Chancellor's words may be of some comfort and help for some of the thousands of people who are self-employed in our region. They have been wondering what kind of support they might be offered by the government. Before today's announcement, Chris Kiddie spoke to some of those whose income dried up in days. Well, let's go live now to Alistair Hutchison, whose organisation represents Well, a lack of testing and personal protection equipment remain top of the list of concerns for NHS staff. The government says millions of items of protection were delivered in the last couple of days and that it's working towards carrying out 25,000 tests a day for current viral infection by the end of April. But some healthcare leaders fear it might be too little too late. Emma Wilkinson reports on how workers on the front line are feeling. Well, next to the effect of COVID-19 on those who are still going to work. 17 Yorkshire MPs have written to the Prime Minister urging him to clarify the status of key workers, with concerns that some companies in our region are flouting the guidelines. Meanwhile, Leeds MP and Business Select Committee Chair Rachel Reeves says more than 1,000 workers have written to her with concerns that they're being forced to work with no social distancing. Our political correspondent Now, well-wishers are rallying to help a villager from the Yorkshire Dales who's stranded in the Canary Isles after suffering a stroke and a bleed on the brain. The family and friends of Ben Lord have launched a desperate appeal to raise £20,000 to bring him home as soon as possible from Lanzarote. Here's Mark Whitty. Well, let's see what's being affected elsewhere. And community pharmacies in North Yorkshire have reported a rise in abusive behaviour from patients over the last 5 days as they deal with unprecedented demand. Animals might have to be put to sleep at Lincolnshire Wildlife Park if the charity can't continue to care for them amid the coronavirus lockdown. They had to close their doors to visitors, as have dozens more charities across the region. In Hull, Dove House Hospice, which has given over some beds to the NHS, says it's losing almost £500,000 a month in revenue. Here's Michael Billington. Well, we have some breaking news now. The figures are just out from the government on the number of deaths from the coronavirus. A further 113 people have died in the UK. That now brings the UK figure to 578 people. Well, next tonight, ambulance services are getting extra support from the St John's Ambulance charity as they receive an increasing number of calls, and more training is taking place this weekend with volunteers. Well, we've got lots of questions about what that latest government advice all means for us. Matt Price has been finding answers to the most common questions. Matt Price reporting there. Well, of course, John's here now, and it is very important for us.
Christine.
It is.
Yeah.
OK, thanks very much indeed, John. Now, finally, everyone's minds are taking up with fears over the coronavirus, but none more so than health workers. Well, tonight at 8 o'clock, we're all being asked to go out and clap for our carers. Here's Helen Steele. Well done to Riley and everyone taking part in Clap for Carers tonight. Now, here's John with the weather. John, thanks very much indeed. That's just about it. I'll be back with the next update at 10:30. The national and international stories are next with all the latest on coronavirus with Mary Nightingale. But for now, from the team here on Calendar, thank you. Bye-bye. Bringing the total number of confirmed reported deaths in the UK to 578. The bigger than expected rise comes in part to a change in the way that the NHS records deaths. Well, 6 of those deaths are in our region. 4 of them were from Sheffield. Well, it comes as thousands of people pay their own tribute to hard-working NHS workers. We'll be showing you those images from across our region at the end of this bulletin. Meanwhile, new enforcement powers came into effect across the country, and today North Yorkshire Police erected vehicle checkpoints to see if motorist journeys are really essential. John Hill reports. Well, a lack of testing and personal protection equipment remain at the top of the list of concerns for NHS staff at the front line of the crisis. The government says millions of items of protection were delivered in the last couple of days. Today, though, it emerged that a nurse whose emotional social media video went viral last week may now have the disease. Emma Wilkinson reports. The clothing and homeware retailer Next has tonight closed its warehouses after workers expressed fears of being unable to carry out social distancing. Now, there are lots of questions about what the latest government advice actually means. Matt Price has been finding the answers and dispelling the myths for us. that prize there. Now let's get the weather with John.